Welcome back to Sportsbook Review Videos. It is almost the year 2016, and even though we don't have any NBA odds out right now for the games happening on the 1st of January here, we can still take a look preemptively at some of these games to take a look at what the odds might hold here coming out probably later this evening. In the first game of the evening, Orlando heading into Washington to play the Wizards. And the biggest one from this one is that Elfrid Payton might not play in this game. Sprained his ankle 2 games ago, came back, didn't look right, played just a few minutes in the other night's game, and couldn't play anymore. And he obviously could be a little bit more injured than he was letting on, and that could leave the door open for Washington, even though they're very banged up as well. Without Peyton, things could get a little dicey for the Orlando Magic. So keep an eye on what the spread could be in that one. If Washington is a home underdog at all, if this game's even close to having them just maybe anything less than a -1, -2 favorite, I think they could be a very interesting play here come Friday morning. Dallas Mavericks and the Miami Heat are also hooking up on New Year's Day. It's another game that could probably be pretty close. The spread will likely be pretty low, I think, for that one, too. Definitely under 3 points for sure. The Mavericks have been playing better, and I think they'll get a little bit of a boost after beating the Curryless Warriors as well. So keep an eye out for those odds as well. That one could also be a little bit of a lower scoring game, too. I think that could, depending on what the total is in that one, I think the Heat could really hold down the Mavericks defensively in that one, too. So keep an eye on the odds for that one as well. Charlotte is heading into Toronto as well. Toronto should probably have no problem winning the game. This is one that I really can't predict the spread too much on. I think it could be anywhere between 4 to 8 points really. Toronto is healthier now, which is a big factor for them. They have Valanciunas and Amari Carroll back, which is a big boost to them. And Charlotte dealing with some injuries of their own. Al Jefferson, he's set to miss the next 6 weeks or so after a meniscus tear. So a lot of injuries in this one, holding down the NBA odds. Very very hard to predict those here a day in advance, especially knowing some of the injuries they're facing. The game I'm going to is in Chicago, and it is the New York Knicks coming into town. It's another game where the Bulls should definitely win the game. It's just a matter of injuries and whatnot really affecting the odds in this one, namely Derrick Rose, who missed the Bulls' most recent game with hamstring tendonitis. Whether or not he will return for this game is a question mark as well. But either way it goes, Aaron Brooks played spectacularly the other night in that overtime game against the Indiana Pacers. So I think the Chicago Bulls could be a pretty good play here, depending on whether or not they're more than like 8 or 9 point favorite, which I don't see here in their NBA odds, depending on what Derrick Rose's status is. And finally, the Philadelphia 76ers and Los Angeles Lakers hooking up, a game that only DFS and bettors will be watching here probably on Friday night, as the Lakers probably have a pretty good chance of getting a win in this one, even though the Sixers have been playing a lot better, a lot harder. Mike D'Antoni, Ish Smith coming along as well over recently, I think has very, very helped this team a lot. And but the Lakers can play pretty good at home. It's going to be interesting to see what the NBA odds for this one. Probably another game where the spread's pretty small in favor of the Los Angeles Lakers here. So keep an eye out for those NBA odds coming out probably later this evening on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to all of you out there. But for Sportsbook Review Videos, I'm Jordan Sharp.